Hey, this is Ryan, the head of RevOps at First Touch, and today I'm going to show you how you can build a dashboard built around LinkedIn activity data using First Touch. So to start, here is a dashboard that I've created. Before we get into how to build these reports, I want to talk to you about the data that makes them up. Inside of First Touch, if you go to your HubSpot integration settings, then down here under engagement tracking, you will see a list of activities that First Touch syncs to HubSpot as app events. Currently, we have 6 different app events that all track different types of activities, and they all get pushed into HubSpot on the contact record. Inside HubSpot, if you go to data management and event management, you'll be able to see all of these app events. You can filter by app, selecting First Touch, and then you're able to see we have LinkedIn message sent, connection accepted, reply received, connection sent, and social post engagement. This dashboard was created using that app event data. So let's get into how to actually build these reports. I've got 4 different types of reports I'm going to show you. We've got KPIs, which are just single metric stat reports. We've got bar charts that are broken down by a single property within each app event. Then finally, down here at the bottom, we have a table that shows the people who have engaged with LinkedIn posts that your team has posted. Let's start with these KPI reports. To create one from scratch, go to Add Content and Create Report. It's going to bring up HubSpot's Custom Report Builder. You hit Next, and then under the primary data source, select App Events. You can hit Next again. Once you're in the report builder, you need to select which app event you want to report on. Each report can only use one app event at a time, which means you're going to need to create separate reports for each app event. Let's start with connection sent. To create a KPI report, you're just going to drag a metric over here, like the number of LinkedIn connections sent. And then under visualization, you can scroll down to a KPI report. And this is going to show you the total count of LinkedIn connections sent from your team. You can also create separate groups. So if you want to see separate stats for each member of your team, you can drag sender name here under group by, and then you can see that Jared has sent 133. I have sent 403. The other thing to note when you're building all of these reports is you're going to want to go into filters, because there is a default filter that is automatically applied, which is the timestamp. So these stats here are showing only activity that's happened in the last 31 days. Having an event timestamp filter is required, but you can extend it to longer or shorter. The maximum range here is 3,720 days, but I usually recommend something like 90 or 365. Once you're done, hit Save Report, and you can add it to your dashboard. Next, let's build one of these bar charts. Again, we're going to create a new report, and we're going to select App Events as our primary data source. Let's get our LinkedIn connection sent app event selected and change the visualization to vertical bar. Just like last time, we're going to drag our metric here, this time onto the y-axis, and then sender name can go on the x-axis. This is showing the same data as the previous report we built, but in a different visual style. If you want to have different colors for different senders on your team, you can also drag sender into the breakdown by section. And then if you want to change what colors are assigned to which person, if you go to Style and scroll to the bottom, you can assign different colors to different people. Next, let's build some attribution reports. This time when we go into the report builder, we're going to leave contacts as the primary data source. We're going to add more sources, including deals and app events. The reason we're doing this is because the things that we care about in this report are the amount of pipeline or revenue that has been generated and the LinkedIn activity that has happened. First Touch's app events aren't natively associated to deals, so contacts serve as a nexus where both deal data and app events intersect. Once you're in the report builder, again, we're going to have to select the app event that we want to use, as well as the visualization. This time I'm going to use an area chart. And then we can start grabbing our data points. The first data point I want to look at is the amount in company currency. And I'm going to make this a revenue attribution report. So the other metric I care about is close date. When you're doing this, make sure you use the close date on the deal and not on the contact. Within close date, you can change the frequency of the data points to weekly or daily if you want something more granular, or you can leave it at monthly. And because we care about the total amount of revenue generated over the course of a year or a quarter, this needs to show the accumulation rather than the amount on any individual day. To do that, go to Style and check this box that says Cumulative. Then you can see how that revenue stacks up over time. Next, we're going to add some filters. As before, we can change the window at which it looks for these app events. So I'm going to update this to 365. And then I'm also going to have some filters on the deals that it's looking at. So I only care about deals that have closed this quarter. And I only care about deals that are closed won. We need to add one more filter to make sure that the event timestamp, any LinkedIn activity that occurred, happened before the deal actually closed. So to do that, we're going to add a formula field. If you look down here at the bottom of our filters, you can hit add and it will bring up a new formula field. The type of formula we're going to use is a date differential. This calculates the number of days between two properties. So in this case, we're going to be looking at the date of the LinkedIn app event and the date of the deal closing. But first we need to specify what part of the date we care about. To start, I'm going to say day, but you could make this week, month, or even hour, minute, or second. Next, we're going to add our close date. So we can insert a field, search for close date, and again, make sure that you select the deal close date, not the contact one. Then we have to find the date for our app event. Under LinkedIn Connections Sent, select timestamp. Once the formula is complete, it'll bring up a list of records so that you can audit this formula. Here we have Alana Sargent. The calculation we just built, the result is -21, which means the LinkedIn activity happened 21 days before the deal closed. If I click on Alana's contact record, we can see that a LinkedIn connection was sent on July 8th and a deal closed on July 29th. So 21 days is accurate. When you're done, hit create formula. And then we're going to drag this up to our filters. And we're going to update the filter so that it says is less than 0. What this means is if that formula field has a negative value, which indicates that the LinkedIn activity happened before the deal closed, then we want to consider that for this report. Now that that filter is applied, you can see the amount of closed won revenue that have been influenced by connection requests. The last type of a report we're going to build is a table. Once again, we're going to use contacts as our main source, and then we are also going to add app event data. After that, we just start adding the properties that we want to see within the table. If you add record ID instead of a name, it will bring up the name, and it's also going to be a clickable link to go to their contact record. So it's a much more valuable data point to include than just first name or last name. Under app events, we can select which app event we want. In this case, I'm going to use social post engagement, which is going to show people who have liked or commented on posts from our team. To see the number of engagements any individual contact has made, we're going to use this count of social post engagements, add that in, and now you can see that shows up in the report. You can see the number, but this is not super useful now because it's showing a bunch of zeros, and we don't care about contacts that have 0 engagements. We want to see who has had the most. So if you click this header, it will then sort, and you want to choose descending. Now you can see a ranked list of who is engaged with the most posts that your team has posted. As you can see here, we've got Artur and Michael and Olivia are kind of our top 3 engagers. And again, you can change the filters. So this is only looking at the last 31 days. Maybe we want to look at the last 90 days, and we want to filter out any customers. So we can add a lifecycle stage filter and say, is none of customer or evangelist or other, hit apply. Then this is going to only show people who are not our active customers who are engaging with our posts. So this would be a great table for a sales rep to look at to understand, are there opportunities to reach out to people based on the amount of engagement that they've had with our posts. Once you're finished building this report, you can give it a name and save it, add it to your dashboard, and you should be set up with a dashboard that shows all of your LinkedIn activity that your team is executing through First Touch.